Hello, everyone. The more you save money every day, the poorer you become. See, every day that you save your money in the bank, you are slowly becoming poorer. Each and every day, and most of us never see it happening. You see, everyone says, hey, don't spend it now. Build up a big bank account. And if you have a big bank account, you will be wealthy. But the reality is, you will never be able to become wealthy through savings. Welcome to Paradigm Shift. My name is Patrick Balfi. Here, we teach you how to dramatically improve the quality of your life. Before we start, I want you to, like, share, and subscribe. So, Paradigm Shift is a program that we talk to a lot of people one-on-one, especially those that have different information than what we have, or most of us we have the same information, but we can't do anything with it. But there are some folks that are moving forward, doing stuff that can help them achieve something. So we talk to people that have already started doing something to encourage or inspire people that have different information than what we learned earlier on and couldn't use it for anything. And if you want to be part of this, every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US, and 8 p.m. Ghana time, we are here talking about Paradigm Shift. And if you want to have a live show of it, subscribe to the Patrick Balfi YouTube channel and you get a live show. Today, we are going to talk about a topic called, the topic is going to be about hidden cost of savings, peace of mind. Hidden cost of saving, your peace of mind. You see, savings will never make you wealthy. And it don't. If you don't believe me, I will give you a mathematical term. Let's say saving, your saving account is growing about actually nothing, essentially. But let's say for the purpose of this video, your saving is growing about 1%. And I've been very generous here because 1% is huge for savings account. And inflation has always been more than 1%. Even before the 2020 pandemic, inflation has always been, higher. We have always been around 2 to 3%. And inflation just means the value of your savings are dropping. Every day you save money in the bank, you are getting poorer and poorer, my friend. So don't just save the money, but rather do something with it. Now, this doesn't mean you shouldn't save any money. This just means you have to understand how to save your money strategically, because wealthy people do not want to save all their money. You see, it's nice, people love to say, hey, save your money. Yeah, it sounds wise, right? It sounds safe. It's also one of the dumbest piece of advice ever given. See, if you don't understand how, actually saving means, you don't really know what to do when people start saying that. You see, saving by itself does nothing. You can't save your way through wealth, more than you can, diet your way through strength. I have talked or, met so many people that have been saving throughout their whole life. The funny thing is sometimes, they clip on coupons and they skip coffee, and they brag about how they're paying their house early or their cars, earlier. But guess what? This is what happened. Inflation just, came along, and quietly stole half of their nest egg while they go asleep. I'm not saying sleeping, I mean financially sleep, right? You see that's the problem with just mere savings. You see, it gives you the illusion of controlling while timing and inflation eats your lunch when you start doing that. You see, money just that sits still is slowly dying. It always has and always will be. See, let's go all the way back to 1942. Yeah, I'm just putting something there out there. See, 1942, a dollar will buy you a steak dinner, right? Yeah, even I think within even two sides. But today, a dollar will buy you the fork. So you have the fork, you don't have the dinner, right? So you see, my friend, that is what when you're planning a save, that's what it is. A long run, you lose everything. See, people don't understand that cash is in wealth. As a matter of fact, cash is something that Warren Buffett called it as a melting ice cube, right? It's useful for short-term stability, but over time, it guarantees um, losses. So now, I just want you to understand, and I don't want you to misunderstand me. I'm not saying spend everything you earn. I'm just saying don't stop at saving. See, saving is just one step or the first step. But investing intelligently is step two. And that is the only step that compounds, right? When I began my financial journey, started doing things right, I started saving aggressively. Yes, I started saving aggressively. But I quickly learned that dollar sitting in the bank don't, breed. It doesn't. They just sit there, lazy, stare, and shrinking in purchasing power. So I quickly put them into work, stock assets that produce value while I slept. You see, not to say I have a lot, but what I'm saying is, even if you have $20, after spending everything, after doing everything that you have, and even if you're left with $20, do not just save it. Put it into some asset that will bring you cash flow. You see, that's the difference between saving and building wealth. One is about fear, the other is about logic, right? Most people hard money out of fear. They are scared of losing the money. They are scared of vitality. So they, what they do is they just play safe. And once they're scared of that, the safest thing that possibly and slowly they will do is just, make sure they put it somewhere because they are scared they're gonna lose it. But that guarantees you what? Poverty, real times. See, the irony is brutal, but you see, they spend their lives, protecting every money, all because they don't want to lose it. But instead, they instead of growing that money, they trying to protect it. By the end, they lose it all. Yes, they lose it all. Inflation doesn't care about your feelings, right? It doesn't. It is quietly what it does is it just eats your money slowly, and it takes everything that you have. Because imagine you have 1% on your savings, and inflation, as we all know, these days is very high. It's about 5-6%. that means it's eating into your equality. Even apart from inflation being high these days, you see, the whole thing about capitalism is you can't save your way throughout. You see, inflation is the thief of capitalism. And the only way to beat it is by owning productive assets that grew faster than the way it steals. That's why saving alone is stupid. Pardon my language. Saving alone, it is stupid. It's not wise when you're saving alone. Just all you're doing is just saving. You see, you're not avoiding risk. You are just choosing a slow way of or a slow form of dying. And when I say dying, I'm talking of financially dying. You see, when I hear people say, oh, I don't invest, I only save, I ask, is it saving what exactly? Purchasing power or papers? Because there's a big difference. You can save $1 and lose value, or you save asset and gain it. So if you say I don't invest, I only save. That's why I ask, what exactly? You see, you can eat $1. You can't live with it these days either. But you can live off the cash flow that dollars is going to get out of a business or whatever, out of whatever you invested in. You see, business or investment that they don't sleep. They don't even cough. When you put your dollars into work, it doesn't complain. All it does is what? It can keep on working for you. So if you want to be wealthy, stop worshiping the idea of saving and start worshiping the idea of ownership. You see, ownership, and owning produce something, right? Owning a business that can create value or that can bring something, always put you out there to make more money. And one thing you have to do that also is you have to own your mistake, because you're going to make few of them. And these people that are trying to save, they don't want to own up to their mistakes. That's why they don't save. But if you are investing and you are getting away from saving alone, you will make some of them. So you have to own up to them. But in the long run, ownership beats, hoarding money. Because you can't be saving, hoarding your way through wealth. It doesn't work that way. You see, people forget that money is just a tool. If you don't use it, it rusts. If you use it poorly, it breaks. But if you use it wisely, it multiplies. See, that's how capitalism works. See, you can't just order out of the game by just sitting on the sideline. I see so many people, oh, I don't invest. It goes up and down, And we also get people also always scaring us about how investment is risky and all those things. You see, saving money might make you secure, but really security comes from understanding how to make the money work. Because otherwise you are just another cautious investor or saver who just wake up one day and all their money is wiped out by inflation. Yes. So saving, just mere saving, is not the way to go. You see, saving without investment is stupid, because in this world, the price of how do I put it? The price of comfort um, is growth, and the price of fear is decade, or because all you're doing is just being scared, and that doesn't take you anywhere. You see, every year, inflation quietly transfer wealth from the the cautious ones to the rational ones. It punishes savers and rewards, owners. That is why I would say saving move saving in a traditional way doesn't make sense, or it is stupid. You see, people hold cash because it feels safe. But safety isn't free. No, it's the most expensive in finance, because you save all throughout your whole life, getting 1%, which has, like I said, been very, very generous if you're saving and getting 1%. Whilst inflation just come in and just kick you out, divide your money in half. Yes. So yes, safety is not free. It is the most expensive inflation, and you can't compound fear. You see, you can compound investing, but you can't compound fear. Most people saving rather than investing is because of fear. You see, if you have $100 in 1973, let's say if you have $100 10 years ago, you could have got something with it. By saving that $100 up to this time, won't get you anything. But if you had invested it 10 years at least, you have something on it. It can buy you something more than whatever just saving it. That's not a mistake. That is by design. When you see all this inflation and everything, it's just not like just a mistake, or it just happened that way. It's designed. So if you don't put your money where it's going to bring you cash flow, where it's going to bring you, it's going to compound, then you are playing you are playing the game wrongly. You see, that's why it's laughable. Like I was saying earlier on, that when people say, I don't invest, I only save. See, I'm not saying you should spend recklessly, or you should gamble your money on stocks, or whatever. All I'm saying is you should respect the math, because whether you save or you don't save, whether you are scared or you are not scared, inflation doesn't care about your intentions. It only respects ownership. That's period. And why? Because if you own, and that thing that you own, or if you invest and that thing that you invest in giving you more than whatever the inflation is, they can't come over you, or it can't conquer you. So if inflation doesn't care about your feelings or your intentions, it only respect ownership or assets. You see, when you hold assets, you are riding in the current of a value creation. But if, let's say, if you hold in cash, or you hoard in cash, you are riding, or you are swimming against the current, and that's tough. When you are swimming against the current, it's so tough. You don't need to be brilliant or brilliant to survive inflation. You just need to refuse to be its victim. So make sure you're not part of just the savers who just wake up one day and their money is cut in half by inflation. You know what that means, right? That means you're thinking like an owner, not a hoarder, because you're not scared. And you're not also scared of volatility. You know it happens. And like I said, it will happen. And you have to, admit your mistakes because you make a few of them. You see, investing in productivity, in companies, in land, and in yourself is very important, because most of us, we just save because we don't have that financial education that we need, because we don't really understand stuff. If you understand the difference between assets, ownership, liabilities, it changes everything. And most of us, we don't have that knowledge. So it's also good we invest in ourselves, because in any inflation world, the cautious man dies broke, and the rational ones sleeps well. All because of they are scared. We don't want to save. We don't want to invest. So it's about time we get that financial knowledge and change course and start investing in meaningful things that will bring us cash flow, things that will compound. My name is Patrick Buffy. Make sure you spend wisely, save intentionally, and being generous. Paradigm shift. See you next time.